likewise women too, they should not wear like men, and they should not malbehave. They should always obey the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallam and his how to call it, his teachings. But to dress like that and to display on the streets or people's house, to knock their doors, you know, heavily, singing songs, stealing monies. No, that is not Islamic. That is not welcome. Everybody should respect that day. You either pray. People sometimes do prayers. Some of us say you can, for example, recite Surah to Ikhlas 1,000 times. I haven't seen it in any teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallam, but it's lawful and it's welcome because it's a beginning of the new year. You pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and strengthen you to obey him and to give you long life, to pass this, how to call it, this year peacefully, and to bring peace in the country. So all those things are lawful, definitely. Praying, reciting the Holy Quran, to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to pray. All those are lawful. The next day, that is the 10th day, in our culture, we used to gather, you know, in a place and recite some du'as. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakilu, ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasiru. You recite it 70 times. Then subhanallah min al-mizani wa muntaha al-ilmi wa mablagha rida wa zinat al-arshi la manja wa la malja'a min Allah illa ilayhi subhanallah adada ash-shaf'i wal watri wa adada kalimat rabbina tamati kulliha as'aluka salamata bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-ali al-azim. You recite it 7 times. We used to do that. That also is welcome. It's welcome in Islam because it is dua, and dua is the higher level of worship, because you forget everything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You raise your hand asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, what you consider as good for you and good for your family, good for your country. That is allowed, and Islam welcome it. But some other behaviors are not welcome, definitely. Yes.
Ustaz, New Year's usually mark new beginnings, and for many people it's a moment of reflection, you know, taking stock of the past event, looking at where your weaknesses are,
yes,
where you need to add your strength.
Yes.
You know, for people, when you take a look back at the previous year and you think that, okay,
yes,
I need to add more to what I am doing. Maybe I am not worshipping as I should.
Thank you very much.
How do you begin the new year?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How can you do that?
So, Nasi, I used to tell people that New Year does not mean more than the event of accountability, the time for accountability. Every Muslim should sit down in his quiet moment and reflect his mind to the past year. What does he achieved? What are the wrongdoings he committed during the past year? To at least measure and to at least weigh his good and his bad deeds. He know himself and to adjust himself. If he realizes that his bad deeds, his failures, his malconduct are more than his good doings, he should adjust himself. He should regret of what he did and try to adjust himself to do more good in the next year. And he should know that beginning of New Year doesn't mean also more than what was allocated, the number of year that was allocated to you has been reduced. Yes, because if you were allocated, for example, 100 years. So starting a new year means that you are reducing number of years you are going to live. That's why I always call people's attention that beginning of any new year doesn't mean to disobey Allah, to happy, to dance, to do wrongdoings. No, but you have to sit down in your quiet moment and make an accountability and try to rectify your wrongdoings and try to at least, how to call it, adjust yourself. That's the only meaning that Muslims should learn from the beginning of this new year. But you also should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, for giving you chance to live, because there are many people who were not given that chance. They died during the past years. So since you are given that chance, so you have to thank your Allah. But thanking Allah means you have to increase your good deeds, not to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or to do wrongdoings. Sister.
Thank you, Ustaz. We are almost at the end of the program, but before we take leave of you, what would you like to tell our dear viewers as last words?
Yeah, last words after congratulating the whole nation from top to down in the sight of the government, from His Excellency the President up to down, and in the sight of Muslim leaders from Imam Ratib and Sheikh Muhammadul Amin Toure of Supreme Islamic Council, and all individuals, Muslims and non-Muslims, Gambians and outsiders. I congratulate all and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this year a year of reconciliation, a year of peace, a year of progress. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our iman and our Islam. That's what the last word I want to tell people, and to thank you very much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you for this, how to call it, program.
Amin, and thank you very much to you, Ustaz, again for joining me on this edition of the season's programs. Well, viewers, that is all we have for you on this edition of the program. I say Happy New Year's to our Muslim brothers and sisters, and do enjoy the rest of our programs.